Hi, it's Jill from the IC Network, and here I am in my office with another self-help tip on living with IC. Want to take a moment and talk a little bit about water intake. Why? Because a lot of IC patients cut way back on their water to the point that they're getting dehydrated because you're tired of going to the bathroom. I mean, come on, who wouldn't be? But there are consequences to that. Consequence number one is that when you get dehydrated, your urine gets very dark, very yellow, even cloudy, and that means that it's much more irritating to your bladder wall. Your urine should be a very clear, pale yellow in color. And of course, the other thing that can often happen when you get dehydrated is it can cause constipation. And come on, when you got IC, the last thing you want is to be constipated too. So it's important that you remember to drink water every day, a good 6 to 8 glasses a day, and how you drink it is important. You know, IC patients don't do well if we guzzle a glass of water at one time. Why? Because it just tends to land in the bladder, and at one time there's a lot of volume to it, and it can be a little bit more uncomfortable. It's better to sip water over a period of an hour. That's what I do, and it really works well for me. Now the question then is, what type of water can we be drinking? Well, I know that there's this hot rumor, and you know, even our diet list says that Perrier is a good choice, but you know what, that's really expensive. And I personally don't like the flavor of Perrier. If you happen to live in a part of the country that has really good tap water like I do here in Northern California, that's what you should be using. And you know, one of the things that you could do just to be kind of clever is get some pH test strips and test the pH of your water. You know, because if you're, like for example, a really good example is filtered water. If you think that drinking filtered water is better for you, you could be very wrong. We had one IC patient who had good tap water, but she thought purified water was better. She was pouring it through a Brita water filter, and her bladder was really, really irritated. And so one day she just suspected that maybe the water was the problem, so she took some pH test strips. She tested her tap water, tested out perfectly at pH 7. Then she tested the water after it came out of the filter, and it was like a pH 4, pH 5. It was acidic. She was stunned that she was taking perfectly good water and making it super acidic water. So again, if you happen to have good tap water, go for that. If you have any doubts, test it with some pH test strips to get an idea of if it's acidic. And your goal is to try to be pH neutral. Now, so then what type of water can you drink if you happen to live in a part of the country where your tap water is actually pretty bad? Well, okay, I like a simple purified water, but I don't like a mass market water that comes from a municipal system. If I can get a natural sourced water like Calistoga water, which is very popular out here on the West Coast, that is going to be my personal preference, but you just have to try some and see how you do with it. Now, I know it's going to be very tempting to go into a store and look at those fancy vitamin waters. Or those energy waters, or those herb-infused waters. And you know, I really want to discourage you from doing that. Why? Because remember, our bladder is pretty fragile, and it doesn't like all of the extra ingredients, and it's especially not going to like it if you drink a caffeine water or a water with a lot of vitamins in it, especially B vitamins. So I want you to look for waters that are infused waters. What that means is that there's an infusion of flavor that makes the water more tasty. And a good example is Hint bottled water. And if you look at the ingredients, all it says is purified water and watermelon and other natural flavors. There's no extra acid added. There's no extra added sugar. This is as healthy as it gets, and yet it's got some good flavoring in it that's going to be very friendly for your bladder. And there are, in fact, lots of different flavors to Hint. They have blackberry, they have pear, they've got a wonderful tropical fruit one, and of course some citrus ones. These are the ones that I think are going to be the most IC friendly. Now, another company that does some infused waters that I think are particularly good is Metro Mint. Now we know that mint has some very soothing qualities. Mint is very calming and soothing to people who have a sensitive stomach, who have IBS or some bowel spasms or some bladder spasms. So if you happen to like mint, and this kind of tastes like a mint julep but without the alcohol, this could be really fun to try. And in fact, Metro Mint actually has lots of different flavors. So they also have a berry mint, I think they have a chocolate mint, they have lemon mint, lime mint, but again, I want you to stay away from the citrus. Well, now, what do you do on those days where you crave a soda? You know, there's sometimes when you just need a nice bite of flavor, and we've all done it, we've all had that soda, and we've all paid the price with a night of frequency. So let me give you an icy-friendly alternative, and that is an Italian soda. You know, when you go to Starbucks or you go to any coffee shop, there are always big bottles of flavoring. And the company that normally makes them, it's called Torani. That's Torani. You can go to Torani.com and look at the hundreds of different flavors that they offer to help make drinks more interesting. And this is another company. This is a company called Flavor Organics, and they happen to make a raspberry flavoring that is to die for. So really all you do is you take a couple tablespoons of flavoring, stick it in a glass of water, rinse it out. This is not going to be stir it up. This is not going to be a dark red soda. This is going to be a very pale red, clear soda. Just enough flavoring to make it interesting, but it's not really strong. And you know, when you start doing this every day, you really start enjoying it. It's so light and refreshing. And then when you try to drink a regular soda again, you almost gag because it's so overly sweet. So you should definitely try making some Italian sodas and see if you really like those. I really love the coconut flavoring from Torani and some of the other flavorings that they have over there. So anyway, I hope that those give you a few more ideas when it comes to adding water to your diet. Please don't be afraid of it. Remember, drink 6 to 8 glasses a day. Try to avoid the fancy, expensive waters. Keep it really simple with infused waters and enjoy. As always, if you're looking for any more information on IC and the IC diet, please come to our website at www.ic-network.com.